Do you suffer with self-doubt or lack of confidence? In this video, I'm going to go over some steps. I'm going to break them into 3 main steps that you can do to get your confidence back in 12 weeks. I'm IFBB Pro Josh Bridgman. I've been a professional bodybuilder for over 5 years. I have been an online coach for over 10 years, and I have coached tens of thousands maybe of people to physical transformations. But a big part of that physical transformation comes a huge mental transformation. So I feel a little bit equipped to explain how you can build some confidence. I've been into places where I've had my confidence ripped from my feet, where I've lost 6-figure businesses, I've been nearly bankrupt, had tens of thousands taken away from me in months where I just don't know where I'm going to pay the next person, and you feel like you've lost everything. Confidence, physical confidence, mental confidence, emotional confidence. And I feel like over this last 2-3 years, I've really fortified myself to say that I'm a confident person across all of those areas, and I'm here to impart that knowledge on you. So sit back and let's get you confident. So self-confidence for me is like one of the biggest keys to success. I think when you believe in yourself, products sell better. You get on a sales call and you believe, the person can tell. You get on a sales call, your lip starts quivering because you're nervous in the product, they can start seeing that. So that is such an important skill. And the opposite of that, self-loathing, is destruction. I've been there before, where you don't think you deserve things, you take things away from yourself, and you almost like self-destruct and put things in place for you to fail because of that. And I've been there before many times again. Really important not to confuse like confidence with arrogance. I think arrogance creeps over a little bit too much, and that can also be a downfall. You can maybe see it as like an inverted U like of confidence. When you get too confident, it could send you back down the other way. In my opinion, like the self-confidence formula is like actions plus your attitude plus your feelings and plus belief. I think if you can marry those 4 things, like you make the right actions, you have the right attitude when it doesn't work, you assess your feelings and understand how those things make you feel, which things don't make you feel good, and act on them, and then truly believe in yourself to do it, because no one else is going to do it. I think that's the recipe for success. I'm actually going to give you some actionable points here. I'm going to break this down to like weeks 1 to 4, the foundations of like building yourself some confidence, right? I think there's a few things that you can do initially that are like super low hanging fruit to just make you feel a little bit more confident. The one thing is going to be like the inner dialogue, the watcher, I like to call it. Like if you can become the person above yourself watching your conversation or watching your internal dialogue, how would you look at it if you weren't emotionally involved? Like if you listen to the conversation, if you have yourself, is it rational? Does it make sense? And I think if you can start thinking about inner dialogue like that, you can really become powerful, because you start to go, nah, that's negative talk right there. That's actually not rational. That doesn't make sense, because you've got all this evidence here to prove otherwise. So if you can cultivate that positive inner dialogue, start saying, I can instead of I might. Start saying, yeah, I'll go do it in a minute, as opposed to, yeah, I'll go do it now. You obviously can't help your first thought, but you can help the second one, right? The first thing that comes, all right, cool, that's a snapshot. And that's just awareness. So begin identifying the negative self-talk. If you can identify it, that's the most important thing. Some people just don't even identify it. You just go through a negative loop, and that's life. The most important thing is to be aware of that, to recognize the loop, and then you can actually like intervene. Then you understand what triggers it. Then you understand what it's about. Then you understand how it's impacting you, and then you can start to break it down. And we can start to, work on affirmations. Like I said earlier, I'll find a way to do this, as opposed to I can't do this. Practicing a little bit of gratitude. I think people who self-loathe or perhaps feel like they don't deserve things, or they're in a negative place, like sit around. Are you looking at a phone? Have you got air conditioning on? Have you got a light on? You're in a better place than a significant amount of the world. And if you can practice that daily, I think a grateful person will be a more confident person. I think a grateful person will just be like, you know what, I'm here to seize the day, I'm grateful, and you can move forward. So just try and practice that. Some more actionable points that I think is absolutely mandatory. Obviously, if you guys haven't followed the channel, you can see me here, fitness. I think whether that's a sport, a hobby, or something that you can commit to, it teaches discipline, it teaches commitment, it teaches you the power of getting through hard days. I think exercise, fitness, and goals like that should be mandatory to building confidence. If you know you can run fast, if you know you're pretty strong, if you know that you're fit, if you can walk into a room and you've got a good posture and you feel strong, I think you're going to be more confident. You're going to hold yourself a little bit higher, not in the terms of like, I could beat everyone up in a fight. No, not that. Just in terms of like, no, I take care of myself. I take pride in the care that I take care of myself. And that will show to other people, girls, boys, other people you're trying to attract. Like they will see that self-care. That person who walks in, who's a bit frail, doesn't look after themselves, doesn't dress nice, doesn't, they might not be seen as confident. That might rub off on other people. So get that fitness in place. It doesn't have to start with being a bodybuilder like me, but it might just start by going to the gym, getting fit, being able to run, being able to go play with your kids. And the way that you do that is to set realistic goals. Don't compare yourself to bodybuilders or IFBB pros or anything like that. Consistency breeds results. So the most important thing we can do is give you a plan that's consistent. And this is what I do as a job. I'm a one-to-one online personal coach. If that's anything you guys are ever interested in, you can hit the first link in the description box for a free diagnostic call. But what I do with my clients is we build the most adherable plan possible. So what a 9 to 5 sit down at the desk person does versus a construction worker is going to be completely different. They need curated plans. So set yourself a goal that you can achieve every day and be consistent. This is where you need to start bringing in some discipline and understanding the foundations of discipline and what that actually means. Discipline is doing things when you don't want to do them. So start your day properly. Do you clean your bed if you don't want to? Make your bed if you don't want to? Do you go do your fitness in the morning if you don't want to? I think if you start your day with something that shows some discipline, some routine, I think it sets your day up very, very well. It doesn't have to be something you don't like. I think maybe that's where you thought it was going to go there, but it can be something that you just have in place. You wake up in the morning and it's positive. You wake up, you hydrate, you do 20 press ups. Like, that's a very, very good thing for your body to do, right? So establishing that routine, alongside those fitness, alongside those self-awareness habits, I think you're going to be a lot more confident in those first 4 weeks. There's a lot that you can do here, like, that we could delve into in terms of you can write down accountability goals, but I think that's a little bit much for the first 4 weeks. I think the most important things to take from those first 4 weeks: build a fitness routine, get strong, find some discipline. Fitness doesn't have to be going to the gym. It could be on a bike. It could be a sport, something that you can actively progress and stick to that is good for you. Be mindful. Start thinking about that negative thought. You don't have to change it, but start thinking about it. Then we come into weeks 4 to 8. This is like main momentum builder. This is where all of those foundations need to be built upon, and that is now the bare minimum, and now you can build upon that. Maybe you start challenging a growth mindset now. Maybe you start listening to podcasts. Maybe you start looking at YouTube videos of how to build more self-confidence, how to find inner peace, how to get stronger, how to improve my life, how to sell better, how to talk better. This is where those foundations are already carrying you. You're starting to feel better, and now you can start to build on those. Be curious, start to visualize things, start to think about what you want to do for the future. Start to think about what impact that future will have on your current situation. Could you get to a position where you could retire your parents? Could you get to a position where your family never needs to worry about money again, or never needs to worry about food on the table again? Those are the sorts of things I want you to start thinking about, and that is an unbelievable driver when you can truly believe in it. This is where you can start to build on fitness as well. You can start to push the intensity. You can start to make it a little bit harder. I think in those first 4 weeks, it's hard. Just going from zero to something is hard. This is where you can start to really identify what your goals are. Which part of that fitness are you enjoying? Is it the running? Is it the strength training? Is it the flexibility? This is where you can start to lean into those things and get a little bit more serious about those goals. I think if you are serious about fitness health goals, it allows you to be more serious about business goals as well in the rest of your life. So I think if you can build on those things, it's going to be a very, very good thing. This is where you also start to build on that discipline and self-empowerment. Maybe you start to talk to other people who are in a similar situation. Maybe you start to think about other people who are trying to better their life. I'm in a group of networks at the moment of people who are actively trying to build businesses or trying to network, right? These are also people who are not going to frown upon you for watching a video about building your confidence over 12 weeks. Because if you're around people that go, "What are you watching? That's a bit cringe, isn't it?" They're not the people you want to be around. But you can put yourself around those people. And after you've done that kind of initial work yourself, in quiet on yourself, where it's a little bit less awkward, a little bit less anxiety around it, start reaching out. Start meeting other people that are doing the same thing as you. Being around other people, they're going to take you up for sure. And that is a really, really important thing about building confidence, because meeting other people, you learn from them, you learn more about life, and you become more confident about why people do things, how people do things, and just more knowledge is more power. So make sure you're going through those things. So the final kind of 9 to 12 weeks, and the reason why I say 12 weeks is I think if you stick to these things religiously for 12 weeks, I think they're in. At least the core of these things are in, and you learn what things you don't like. Maybe you don't like to sit and meditate in the morning and write a journal. I don't, but maybe you love it. So this is, by the end of this, you should do that. And this is where we cement the change. This is where you really start to develop a long-term vision. You started to really develop mindfulness and that inner dialogue of understanding negative self-talk and how negative self-talk probably leads to negative outcomes. But if you can big yourself up, if you can back yourself, if you can communicate with yourself, if you can be honest with yourself, I truly believe that it's only going to end up positive. This is where, the fitness milestones are starting to be achieved, your first goals are starting to be achieved, your first building blocks of confidence, like your first goals that you set out to do are being built upon, and you've got new ones to set, and every new one that you set is another rung up the confidence ladder. You start to do this for 12 weeks, 16 weeks, you start to look at this 6-12 months down the line, you think, damn, I've achieved a lot, and that builds a lot of confidence. I'm still not like 100% confident. This has been doing this for 10 years and I'm still not 100% confident. So don't think that this change comes in 12 weeks. It comes in 12, 15, 20 years of doing this, right? And knowing yourself inside and out. But these are some of the building blocks that you can really start to think about. So in conclusion, guys, like, embrace a confident future, right? It's a continuous process. You've got to continually progress. You've got to continually act on it. Just like a muscle, just like learning something. In order for you to build confidence, you have to do things that build your confidence. Take a step into the uncomfortable. Do something that you know you should do, but you're quite nervous to do. If you can keep nudging that bar, that's all you can ask for. Because the goal is progress, not perfection. Celebrate the achievements, learn from the setbacks, keep pushing forward. Just constantly ask yourself, like, is this person who I am right now, is this someone I'm happy to be? And if it's not, what are you doing today to not be that person? Guys, if you enjoyed this video, I'd love to hear it. Drop a like, drop a comment. We'll see you soon. Peace and everybody. Bye-bye.